Elen si la luma no mentielvo, a star shines on the hour of our meeting. Hello friends, I'm Narelon Staff. I have pronouns he, him. Welcome to the stream. It's Tuesday, which is of course Minecraft Day. I know I'm late, don't get on at me. I just am. You know, it's just what I do, mostly. But, already ready before me. Because, you know, you can guarantee if I'm late, he'll be on time. It's friend of the channel, Loomis of Failing, pronouns Z, them.
Hello everybody, hope you're all doing good.
How are we all doing today? As it taps watch. Thanks, Lewis. So much time pressure. Oh, right, yeah, I've ramped up. I wonder why everything seemed really loud and I've ramped up my headphone volume when I was watching Lord of the Rings the other day. Because of that score. The Howard... Whoa. Oh, okay. The Howard Shaw score. It's got to, haven't you? I love the music in Lord of the Rings. Incredible score. Now you hate everything and everyone, don't you, Loomis? This is the thing we know about you.
The music in the films is excellent. I have no complaints about that specific aspect of the films.
Yeah, there you go. I just need to adjust something here. Hold on. I'm just adjusting things. So I messed around with settings. You know it's predictable. I like messed around with settings and
The rain feels good. Just stood out here with my face to the sky.
It is very warm in the UK. It's like unseasonably warm into the minute.
Yeah.
I was kind of getting ready to put the shorts away, but I'm wearing them. Not the shorts I bought recently for working out in. That'd be weird. Like, you know, why am I wearing them up? No. Hello.
Boop.
Boop.
Hi.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what I'm doing today, but yeah. It's very warm, like 20, 25, something like that been today. Which, so there's a fly in here. Get away. Which is actually a temperature I like. I like 25. But I know you don't, so.
Yeah.
I heard something about...
28 at work as well.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard something about shorts. Hi, B-Rat. Hope you're having a good day today. I was talking about I'm wearing shorts. A pair of old jeans that I cut off.
Hi, be
Crude fashion. No, I didn't hem them. I just kind of cut them off and then just keep trimming the loose threads. I don't have the kit to hem them. But yes, I also bought some shorts to work out in. They're like right cheap. So.
I've historically hated wearing shorts,
Hmm.
but after last summer basically put me at death's door, I bought a bunch for this summer.
Yeah.
And I got used to them surprisingly quickly.
Oh, good.
Wasn't short. Yeah.
I used to wear
I'm kind of wondering if it might have been a bit of a dysphoria thing that I wasn't really aware of.
Possibly. Yeah.
That when I was younger, I mean, as a child, you don't really choose your clothes. You get whatever your parents give you.
Yeah.
But I always felt really uncomfortable wearing shorts.
Ah, yeah.
But I've been wearing them this year, and it feels really good. In fact, when I went to put trousers back on some of the cold days, they felt really constricting. Like I wasn't used to that part of my legs being covered.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. I used to wear shorts a lot as a kid. Because, like you say, you just do, don't you? You get giddy with your gid, you know.
Yeah.
Used to be like an old sack. You know, with 2 holes cut in the bottom. That's what I used to wear. And just a bit of rope around your waist.
Yeah.
But no. I feel like I used to wear shorts a lot. And then I'd like stopped. I don't know, probably about the time I was at uni, I think. Maybe a little bit after. And then didn't wear any for years. Until last summer. When, you know, we had the hottest temperatures ever recorded in the UK. And I decided to cut off a pair of jeans. Because I needed some shorts post-haste.
Yeah.
And just, just kind of did it to a second pair this summer. Because it's not been as hot, but like... It's still been warm, hasn't it, in places? It's not been hot compared to like the rest of Europe. Or indeed the world.
Yeah.
But it's still been warm. I kind of like linen trousers instead of shorts the last few years. I'm too boomer. The Godfather always does that. He always wears like lightweight trousers in summer.
That's what I've historically done.
Yeah.
Kind of still do, I guess.
Mm.
When I'm not wearing like the 2 pairs of shorts that I now own.
Yeah. I'm gonna get robbed again, aren't I, by villagers? Stop it. It's comfortable. Okay, I'll let you live, Bira. I'll not judge you.
Even in winter, I don't like wearing heavy trousers. But I'm very. This is less a dysphoria thing and more an autism thing. But I'm very picky about the materials that I will allow to touch my skin.
Yeah. There's some I just cannot stand.
If I'm wearing certain. If I'm wearing like heavier things, the sort of stuff that you'd wear in winter, I often have to wear like an undershirt and leggings so that they're not touching my skin.
Yeah. Can't wait until I'm old enough to pull off linen trousers, linen shirt, and a straw hat. That is a strong look. It's like future Picard in his vineyard from that episode of Next Generation, isn't it? Or kind of the Amish, but I think that's not what you're going for.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of short, like I was never previously aware of feeling dysphoria as such. Like I think I often said that like if I was designing a body from scratch, it wouldn't be this one.
You did, that's true.
But at the same time, like, you know, it did what I needed to do. But like having come out, I feel suddenly a lot more comfortable about my appearance and fashion and styles in a lot of ways. Like I guess there's no expectations of appearance on a non-binary person. I can wear whatever the heck I want because I'm deciding what it means to me.
Yeah, that's true. That's really good, actually. I'm really glad that you feel that bit more comfortable and that you have that bit more power over it, I guess.
Yeah. I've been trying out different kinds of makeup and all sorts of stuff.
Nice.
It's been very fun.
That's really good. Like freed from it, aren't you, in that regard?
Yeah.
Really
I'm
good.
outside of the box now. You can't put me back in the box.
Really good. And because there's no reason that people of any gender should feel constrained either, right? But obviously I know you're referring to that's like society, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's brilliant that you are, as Bira says, freed from the performance of traditional gender. Yeah, absolutely. That's really good. See, I'm like swings and roundabouts. Like sometimes I like the feeling of like feeling manly, and other times I just like feel like I don't care. So
Yeah.
well, there's certain things in it like it's like when we talked once yonks ago, and it is yonks ago, about when you're doing stuff under the bonnet of your car, and I said I feel like in a strange way more manly, even though it's silly.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. I'm sure I only did them last week.
Yeah, there's like certain exercises in my weights routine where I'm like the action heroes doing the movies. I look like a real gym person.
Yeah, that's it. A gym enthusiast. It's I like that. I actually, it's something Kira Chats has talked about. I just fell down a hole. It was something Kira Chats was discussing with Queen Pip. Queen Pip is a drag queen, and they were talking about like the power of costuming and how like you transform like from let's say Pib, just like normal person, to become then like Queen Pib, right? That's almost like the character, who also has her own very strong accent and is brilliant. But like Kira then kind of giving the example of like wearing like gym clothes. Like sometimes when she's motivating herself to work out, she'll like wear specific like a cute workout outfit because then in her head she's a person who works out, and it makes like working out easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There's like a performance aspect to clothing. And in fact, that's what used to get across in the medieval. What are they called? Carnivals. That feels like a mistranslation, but carnivals. Where people used to like wear specific outfits or masks or whatever, and then when you were doing that, kind of like behaviour outside of social norms was expected. It's about carnivals. People used to like do all kinds of technically illegal things because I was like it's expected for the role, right? Yeah. Loosely connected and poorly expressed, but yes, that's. I've done it again. Wait. I accidentally uprooted a pumpkin plant, but the space was still tilde, so I was able to fix it. So that was okay. It's alright, nothing to worry about. Everything's fine. Everything's fine now. Maybe I should start wearing an artist's smock in that case. Like when I'm painting my models.
Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh. Like, people should be free to wear what they want. But do you remember when a friend of ours bought an artist's smock and insisted on wearing it everywhere? It was just like, it's a clothing choice, right? Like an artist's smock to just like wear it out on the train or whatever. It's a choice. As I say, you should wear what you want, but also, you know, it's worth a chuckle over. Normalise wearing dramatic costumes everywhere. Bring back capes. Exactly. We used to be a real country.
Yeah.
I did actually used to work with somebody who I was talking about. She's someone senior at the hospital now, but at the time she was a record assistant, part-time receptionist. You know? And we had a good chat about how like we should bring back capes. The capes are cool and people should wear them. Excuse me. I always use this one. I never use the one at the other end. Like I installed that one at the other end so that we got two. We didn't have to share, but here I am.
Wait, you mean the work table?
Yeah.
There's another one at the other end?
Yeah.
So there is. I've literally never noticed that.
Yeah, I put it in when I did the big reorganization, so like whichever end you're at, you've got easy access to using them, but then it's like I never do. It's almost as useful as the Tunsfield line. Yeah, I guess. See it? Like, is it invisible because it's in the corner? Is that what's going on? We don't notice it.
I think it's invisible in that it's a room I often spend time in and therefore don't need to actually look at when I'm in here.
True. Brain's like one's brain, not specifically yours. Like your brain's very good at like filtering out extraneous details, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you don't need to notice that, so you don't. Alright, let's sell some more stuff. But yeah, I definitely think we should wear. I mean, capes are cool. I've got one, but it's only a little one. Sort of like, you know, the ones that the guards wear in winter uniform. Technically, mostly just wear those big great coats, but. They've silly. But yeah, the guards. That's the 4. Is it 4 or 5? I can't remember. Top regiments in the British Army on foot. It's part of their dress uniform. They have these little capes, but mostly they just wear big great coats because that's sensible. But normally they wear capes, and I bought one once, like cheapo military surplus. I think it went already on acting, and I got the idea of if it's cold, I can just wear that. But I stopped reenacting, so I'm not getting rid though, because it might come in. Made of wool though, so I probably should get rid. At least I assume it's wool, because they used to be, didn't they? So probably wool. And I guess smoke them if you got them, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, when I decided to go vegan, I ate all of the vegetarian food that I'd already bought.
Right, I thought you were going to say like you went out and bought some.
No. After I made the decision, I never bought any more non-vegan food, but I ate what I already had.
Yeah.
Like
makes
I
sense.
mean, I'd already bought it. The damage was done.
Yeah.
The harm is inflicted when I spend money on it and incentivize capitalism to provide more.
Yeah, definitely. So it is like, as I say, smoke them if you got them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like that phrase. Yeah, exactly, Vera. See, as we said before, this is a safe space. I'm not going to crash her up to Kira for smoking in here, so. You are technically allowed. I have to turn a blind eye. It's like a... Thank you, Smokler. I've not got any no smoking signs up yet. Do you remember they used to have smoking sections in restaurants? So was that
Yeah.
a new list?
It was awful. They would like that. It did not keep the smell in the smoking area.
No. Vile, wasn't it? Like you're trying to have a meal and somebody's just like just wafting off. Do you remember that little? I'm loath to call it a restaurant. That little eatery of some kind in town. The one that's in the precinct. And there's near the top of escalator. There's a little like Italian named place. As I say, very careful to avoid doxiness. And it's a rate dingy hole anyway, is the point. But part of the problem is it's like it had a smoke. It was only small, so like you couldn't get away from the smoking section. But also it's a top of escalator leading outside down towards the bus station, and people used to smoke a lot in there, didn't they? You couldn't smoke on bus.
Yeah.
So it used to just waft up the escalator. So it was just horrible in there. Like everything just stunk. I never liked it. They were very dark and all. Sorry, go on.
I don't know if I actually knew that eatery, but I can think of many similar examples.
Yeah, I think it's still there. I think it's still open.
I don't spend a lot of time in town, to be honest.
Nobody does anymore.
Yeah.
If everything's shut.
Well, no. Yeah, true. I mean, I didn't even back when there were things open.
But when it was not as bad.
Last time I went there, it was like the whole thing's just empty.
It's a real shame, really.
I remember they'd done up part of it, like near the car parks.
Yeah.
And like it was already like a bit of an open area, but they made it into a bit more of a plaza. Cleaned up the floors, put down some tiles, but like some seating, some of those big steps that are more seating than stairs.
Yeah.
Like a big screen showing ads and clips and announcements and things. It looked very, very nice, but like every shop that opened up onto that little plaza was closed.
Yeah.
There was nothing there.
It's so run down. Like it's a shame to see if this is be that run down. My dad always says it's all betting shops and charity shops now.
Yeah, it's not good.
Used to do field work at a previous job for a bunch of government and municipal buildings, and every single one of them had that lingering tobacco smell, even a decade or so after we banned smoking indoors, just the nicotine that was embedded in the walls and furniture. I can smell that just from you saying it. Like, yeah. It's like when you used to, they used to have smoking in pubs. Like, when we were lads. When I was a lad and you were a kid. And they'd always have that smell of like old smoke, like a beer rat saying about the nicotine smell, just that like soaked in, and then like stale beer. Just used to be. Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pubs are mostly nice nowadays. I said, do you remember that one that Angel tried to take us in that time?
The tiny one.
Yeah. Oh, that was vile, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This little pub. Well, it's like a pipe smell, but awful. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, this tiny pub in town. Like it's really old, it's really historic or whatever, but it's tiny. And we went in and it stunk, like you're describing, like old like nicotine tobacco smell. And everybody like stopped what they were doing and turned and looked at us when we walked in the door. And they were smelling like, I'm sure, like a smell of piss and all. I don't know if there was a problem with toilets or if like, people just peeing up floor. I don't know.
I think it was just that it was such a small building that like, even through the walls, you were never more than like 2 meters away from the toilet.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, and everybody stopped what they were doing and turned and looked at us as we went in. And I just like did because I were in front, wasn't I? Because he's like, in you go. And I just did like an immediate 180 on my heel and just walked out. I was like, no. This is good. I was like, no, we're not going in there. So I'd got a girlfriend at the time, hadn't I? She was coming to meet us. I was like, I'm not taking my girlfriend in there. I'm not doing that. Oh, you learned the middle click or whatever shortcut from Frezzo. I did, yeah. I've been using it as well. Like, I still forget at times and like open the menu, but I have learned and applied that knowledge.
I think we ended up at Weatherspoons, so I don't know if that was really a step up.
The rough Weatherspoons as well.
Yeah. Are there non-rough Weatherspoons?
No, but it's like degrees, you know. Because there's at least 2 in town, isn't there?
Yeah.
And one of them's the one where like the younger people tend to go. And that one's like, it's still rough, but it's like nicer. And then the other one is the one that used to be really like, it's a grand old like railway building, but now is like just really rough and decrepit. Yeah. What's wrong with rough places? Sounds like anti-worker propaganda, comrade. Well, true. I believe workers deserve nice places, but you're right. That's, you know, hold me accountable if you're...
In fact, I'd say it's a specific kind of anti-worker trap. Like, in fact, this goes back to some of the Salvation Army stuff that you used to talk about. But like, you know, as somebody who would not go into a Weatherspoons under my own power.
Yeah. Sorry, just the description, like just tying the Salvation Army's moral crusade against alcohol with Weatherspoons. It's like, yeah, that works immediately, but just not the angle I expected.
Well, like 9 times out of 10, looking back through my life, the times I've actually gone into a Weatherspoons, it's when I've been away with my parents, and they're looking for a cheap place to have breakfast, and they suggest Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
And like, bars are not allowed to be open and selling alcohol at early in the morning, but Weatherspoons is a restaurant and therefore can sell alcohol at pretty much any hour. So you go into Weatherspoons at like 8 a.m. in the morning, and there will be a dozen people lined up by the bar, blind drunk. Yeah, like true. Falling down drunk. They start their day, they walk into Weatherspoons, they get drunk. That's one of the main services that Weatherspoons provides, a place for troubled people to drink themselves into a coma at 8 a.m. in the morning.
It's true. Yeah. Like you say, it becomes like almost like a specifically worker trap. They're preying on people who've got problems, aren't they? Or problems with substance abuse, stuff like that. That's why I was thinking it's like the rough one in town, because that's the one where, that's the one where you go for a breakfast and they're already 3 sheets to wind. Yeah. I'm not even going to check my inventory. I'm just going to keep middle clicking until I run out. That's like a lot of local bars here. We don't need a franchise for it. Also, like he's not Mr. Weatherspoon. Like didn't he name it after his teacher? Like the story goes that he named the chain. It's actually like J.M. Weatherspoon or something. That he named it after a teacher who said he'd never achieve anything in life as like a permanent taunt. Like weird, but alright. But he's like a Brexiteer, isn't he? Weatherspoon.
Awful person.
And didn't he, like, when COVID started and the lockdowns, didn't he, like, take the furlough money but then just, like, make all this staff redundant?
Yeah, I think so. He did a lot of things along those lines. So.
Yeah. Just, horrible bloke. There's one near a store I go to and I've had to pick someone up from the floor more than once. Yeah. Like, they're queuing outside at 8 in the morning, aren't they? That kind of scenario. I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, the only real exception here is that bars specifically are not allowed to be open at that time for that reason. Is that restaurants have a loophole.
Yeah. Like trains. Trains have a loophole as well.
Yeah.
Trains can serve alcohol whenever the train is in motion, so... Yeah, and by like 2 p.m. there's sometimes 1 or 2 people blind drunk and maybe on the floor. Yeah. I always remember going into town once. I'd spent overnight at a lass's house and she'd got, about 11 in the morning, she dropped me off in town so I could get a bus rest at way home. And there were like already people like absolutely drunk as lords. like waiting for the bus and stuff. It's so. Like that's not a sign of like things going well for you, is it? Like that's when people need help. I think. I'm not trying to say that in like a condescending way, but like people, yeah, I've seen too many people like with alcohol-related problems. Like enjoying it in moderation, and everything. Sure. Maybe it makes me sound like a Puritan. But I've known people that die from it and stuff, and it means I was, yeah. At least I started drinking at uni. It was probably 10 a.m. though, but it was a student holiday, and I was out drinking till like 6 a.m. the next day. Yeah, I knew a lot of people used to do that at uni. There's also the car boot challenge, which is where you go out in an evening in town, so that's Saturday night, and the idea is you buy something from the car boot on your way home Sunday morning, and it's because that starts at like opens at 6 in the morning, is it something like that? Okay. And there used to be one in the middle of town, so that was the consider the art of it. I always remember a lad I worked, one of the fitness bros I've mentioned before I used to work with. I remember he'd bought a bugle, his words, I don't know if it was a bugle or a trumpet or what. He said he bought a bugle from an old man in on car boot, and he got it for like a tenner or something like that. He said, I'm sure he'd got dementia, because nobody should be selling a bugle for a tenner. And I was like, well, maybe. And he says, so in other words, I just took advantage on him, didn't I? Because he didn't. And I was like, I don't know. But then again, I was so drunk, I couldn't remember my own name, so maybe we were equal. So, well, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine being out that long again in my life now. No, that sounds exhausting to me. Because I'm not like a big going out person. So the idea of being out from like 10 in the morning till 6 the following day sounds very tiring. Maybe I am the boomer here.
I'm going to choose to believe that in the old man's case, he just wanted it to go to a home.
Yeah, I think that's almost certainly the case, yeah.
Like we've got the, in my library, I've got a, oops. Let me actually put down my bed instead of putting down 20 scaffolding in the place where I wanted a bed. I've got, in my library, I've got a book sale stand for, books that we don't need in the library, because when they came out 10 years ago, they were super popular and we needed 20 of them across the whole library service. But now they're old and we don't need one in every library.
Sure. Yeah.
1 or 2 is enough. And we need the shelf space for new books that are coming out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, makes sense.
So we've got the book sale stand to get those out of the library, basically, rather than. Essentially, the book sales are there so that I don't have to recycle the books.
Yeah.
Like we get to set our own prices, but my books are 10p a book. Any book 10p. I just want them to go to a home so I don't have to recycle them. If you ask nicely, I'll give it to you for free.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this for the books.
But capitalism.
Yeah. I'll give you 10p to take this book away from me.
Market forces. So yeah, it's probably the same thing. Like he wants someone to. I mean, I imagine it was probably a cornet or something rather than a bugle, but it could have been a bugle. Yeah, he wants somebody to have it. Like, don't matter, the price don't matter. He just wants to go to the home and not get chucked out. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably it.
Yeah,
but I think
we get like babysitters and the like kids clubs and that will just come in and hoover up every book just have something to throw at the little kids.
Literally, metaphorically.
Read this and stop bothering me for 5 minutes.
I've gotten some obscure technical books from library sell-offs before. I think I have one about latex, the nerd one, not the kink one. Hey, no shame here.
Yeah. They can be both.
That's true. Sort of technical manuals on kink latex, I guess. Yeah, we used to get.
Somebody's got to make it, right?
Well, that's true. So there's a supply and demand. But yeah, what Loomis was referring to there with the Salvation Army thing we talked about before is because I was involved in the Salvation Army for a long time. You know, I used to be a Salvationist for like longer than 26 years. I have many thoughts about the Salvation Army, by the way. As you might imagine, from someone who was involved in it, I have many thoughts. But yeah, like that was Loomis referring to when we had a discussion about how can a Christian organization abstain from alcohol when like Jesus turned water into wine. And of course the answer is about the corrupting, not corrupting necessarily, but the way that alcoholism was such a big problem in London in the 19th century when the Salvation Army were founded. That are you a new scrivener? You are. And so it was like a stance to say we won't take part in it. But we used to do a lot of sales because the Salvation Army does, and we used to do like what we call jumble sales, and people used to donate all sorts. Like we got donated the paddle from a canoe once.
The car boot without the car boot.
Yeah, like an indoor car boot almost. People donate stuff, you sell it, and the money goes to like helping the homeless in your area or whatever. And people used to gear all sorts. Like the paddle off a canoe was my favourite. But we also got a book once that I got it. I had it because we couldn't put it on sale because it's a book on physiognomy. Physiognomy. Just to leave that for it's a book on how to tell someone's character by the shape and proportions of their face. A lot of time when people talk about phrenology, they actually mean physiognomy. You know, because phrenology is head shapes. Physiognomy is face shapes. And there's even a section on what to look for if you're adopting a kid. Yeah. Like how to judge what your kid's character is going to be like by the proportions of their face. That's disturbing. Yeah, absolutely, be right. It's like, I mean, I had to get it. I was like, first of all, we can't sell this. You can't be selling books on physiognomy. Secondly, I must have it. Like for historical purposes, I've got to read this. Oh, I know they jumped off the track. The transit tube. I thought it abutted the roof of the Casdenby Flats. So I went to like jump over the gap, and there's a gap. So I nearly went straight down. Hopefully I didn't. I don't shame, I just want to be specific. Yeah, I know you don't kink shame, be right, this I know. Me and my man, by the way, have had lots of long conversations recently about kind of like organised religion as a general principle. Because like faith, I have absolutely nothing wrong with. Like, you know, I think having a faith, it can be very good for people. It can be a great source of strength. You know, it always was for me, right? Always has been for me. So I've got a problem with that. I don't think there's any harm with it. I know you can talk about like scientific thinking and stuff, and that's a whole other conversation. But religion is, I think theoretically it sounds great, right? Like, you know, you all come together to share your beliefs and have that community together, and that's very nice. And I know there's a lot of people who like miss that when they, you know, leave a religion or whatever. But also, yeah, it's usually just exploitative and controlling, right?
Yeah, all too often.
Yeah, and that's what I always saw in the army as well. Like our local corps were fine because it was like local people just working it out together, you know. Like we didn't have an officer. We were the Salvation Army equivalent of a priest. We didn't have one. We just kind of like got on with everything together. But then as soon as you start interacting with like anybody from a wider area, I remember just kind of having this feeling of like, oh, this is nothing like what I'm used to. And that being quite a shocking thing.
Yeah.
Ceremonies and rituals are important, but we could return with a V to folklore and fairy tales and stuff instead of the organised religion stuff. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that there are like uses for it, aren't there? Like uses for it. That sounds too cynical. Like ways to do it without it being, like say, like the organised religion side of things. I think even like I don't want to say there's a need for rituals, because that sounds wrong. But I think people like a certain amount of like ceremony or rituals, don't they? That's a completely unsubstantiated, non-scientific idea that I have. A bit like why people like things like trooping the colour and stuff like that, right?
I mean, it can just be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like a healthy respect via personification of nature and stuff would be neat. Like fairy circles in Ireland and possibly Britain. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely room for that in there. Oh, okay, I did fall off the track, but then because I just didn't corner. I came up to the corner and just like at the last minute started to turn. It was too late. But yeah, there's definitely. I mean, even like state atheist places have like kind of rituals and ceremonies, don't they? Like in Maoist China or something.
Topic's drifting a lot, but if I can just tie up my thoughts with a little bit of a bow.
Oh, sure, always.
So, regardless of how you feel about execution, the part of the idea behind the Salvation Army.
Yeah, sorry, for a minute I thought you meant like death penalty, not like the execution of the idea. I was like, what? Where's Lewis going with regardless of how you feel about execution?
Regardless of how you feel about execution, the owner of Weatherspoons must go.
I just thought, oh no, what a turn. Furthermore. Sorry, regardless of execution.
Yeah.
Regardless of the execution of the idea, etc.
Yeah. Part of the idea behind the Salvation Army was to provide a safe alcohol-free zone because a lot of workers with difficulties in their lives were having serious struggles with alcohol addiction, and it enabled them to break free of that and improve themselves and make themselves happier.
Yes.
And when you look at it like that, I think Weatherspoons, intentionally so, is the exact opposite.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, yeah.
It's there to intensify struggling workers' alcohol problems to prevent themselves from pulling themselves out of the bottom ranks of the working classes where they do rubbish jobs that need doing.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. It's part of that. My dad talks about this a lot. I know I often cite my dad when we talk politics, but obviously he's been an influence because he's been a communist a lot longer than I've been alive. So, but yeah, absolutely, he talks about that. Wait, can I do it this way? You can do it with planting stuff as well. You can do the middle mouse when you plant stuff, and it summons up more into your hand. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, so my dad talks about that, how there's a concerted effort in capitalism to like keep people essentially drunk or drugged, not for like recreational purposes. We're not talking about that, but like as essentially a kind of way of like distracting people. It's the circus's part. You read in circuses, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to then like demonize those people to distract your working class from uniting against the real problem.
Yeah.
That you kind of get people to make people into as much as possible a bit of a mess, and then say, "Look how bad these are. They're the cause of your problems." Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, well, then I'm in the middle of a field. It's like workers in Maoist China at the minute. There's a book I read ages ago. I think it was called Ishmael by Daniel Quinn. Not sure if it holds up politically because it's been over a decade, but it had an interesting anthropological analysis of atheism and the modern capitalist world as another religion, complete with its own creation myth, the Big Bang, and so on. Kind of want to reread it with a more critical eye. Yeah, that sounds interesting, actually. I know it's something that Gwen...
Oh boy, I'm in trouble.
Oh, where are you? What happened?
Out near the New Lake houses, got ambushed by skeletons.
Oof. The stuff's out there and we're in the same block.
Oh, yeah.
Are you
Where the heck? Okay. Yeah, I'm back at Vault 0.
I'm going to get your stuff. Oh, I'm tangled in vines. I'm going to get
I
your
think I
stuff.
spawned inside a tree. That's not ideal.
Yes, that's an idea. But yeah, that sounds a really interesting idea, and I've talked with Gwen from Kira's community about. I know it's her idea about how like even like left-wing groups form their own kind of religions through kind of shared beliefs and structures, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but that is a thing that we do. Right, whereabouts did you die so I can loot all your? I mean, pick up all your stuff for you.
Near the back. Plotting out some new construction sites.
Oh, you mean like in the back of that whole region?
Yeah.
Like out near the extended high hay, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Eastward, towards the East Market side.
Sure. Yeah, but we should be aware that we're forming these groups with similar framework structures. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there, I found these stuff. So where are these skeletons? Are they in the room with us now?
Are they not there anymore?
Nothing. Wow, you had a lot of stuff. Okay, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
I have to dump.
Can you make a chest?
Here's what I'm going to do. Don't worry about it.
I had a lot of wood, so
There's no cut through. Hold on. I've got this, don't worry. I don't have this, but you know. I'm going to try something. Is there any chests in the lake house?
I don't remember. I don't remember putting one in, but I might have as decoration.
There's one in the Tess and Candles Memorial Lighthouse, isn't there? No, they're my beats. In fact, I'll just chuck it all in here for you. Actually, there's probably not enough space. Actually, then, they're my beats. Yes, okay. I'm back. Run. But yeah, absolutely. We do kind of like form these structures, don't we? And like you say, we need to be aware that we're doing it. There's not anything harmful. I've lost my train of thought. Because, you know, somebody went and got themselves killed. No doubt what I was going to say was going to be really wise and thought-provoking. So if you'll act as though it were, that'd be great. Thank you. Something about communism, probably. You know what I'm like. I've probably pinched some of your taters. I've still got some of your arrows. I don't want space.
Sure.
I'll give you. I don't know where you are. Are you catching train back?
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Oh, cool. I'll meet you at the station. And I'll let you pick up the rest of your stuff and organise it such as you wish from the Tess and Candles Memorial Lighthouse.
I think I might be on the wrong track. This is longer than it should be.
So when you got to the station at Vault Zero, did you look at the signs or did you just...
I did look at the signs, yeah.
Okay. Because it shouldn't be long to Vault Zero. I haven't been on the train in ages, so there's an excuse to just trundle out. There's a villager on the track still. Should probably do something about that.
Okay. This is a huge straight section. I think I've hopped on the train to Tyson's Marker or somewhere.
You have, yeah.
No. Okay. If I hop off, it should.
Yeah, and just like reverse your direction. I think it's not far to Vault Zero on train. Oh, my old bones. I've been working from home the past couple of days, which has been fantastic. I love it. Like I was saying on Sunday, so much better than working from work. But it also means I like sit here a lot, so I need to remember to like get up and stretch about and such.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll like, seize up.
Yeah, I'm glad I get a lot of chances to walk around at work.
Like working from home is like physically more comfortable, but because I have no necessity to get up at any point.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget to like get up and stretch every hour or whatever. Then you can end up like cricking your neck or something like I did yesterday, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't just like slouch about all the while. Yep. Let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot there were 2 separate tracks here. Yeah, I see what you've done. So this is so the sign on platform 1 says "Welcome to Vault 0, platform 1," and there's an arrow pointing one way that says Chasm B and an arrow pointing the other way that says Tyson's marker. And
Yeah, I've obviously misread that at a glance.
Yeah, it happens in stations, doesn't it? That's why you need to have members of staff there, and you shouldn't have it. Just left because people need help. Like, what if someone needs to like get a wheelchair on a train or something?
Yeah.
I was doing deadlifts with a resistance band during a remote meeting today, and I wasn't expecting a question, and then I had to pretend to not be out of breath. Oh, that's brilliant. I've grown to really like deadlifts, because they were the one I put off doing for a while because I was convinced I was going to throw me back. Because like if you don't do your technique right, you can really damage your back, can't you? And I was like, I'm just going to do it. Like I know I'm just going to end up like damaging my lumbar vertebra, which is where they're most vulnerable, by the way.
Yeah.
Your thoracic vertebrae are the ones that are anchored to your ribs, and it's very difficult to damage them. Because I mean, if you've got like osteoporosis or cancer of your spine, then yes, the bones crumble, don't they? Or calcium deficiencies or whatever, because they carry a lot of weight. But generally, they don't do much because they're not anchored. And it's very difficult to do it. But your lumbar vertebrae are not very anchored at all, so that's what gives us our flexibility. So, of course, what that means is if you yak them when you're lifting weights or something, you just displace your discs and put all your pressure on like your spinal nerves. Hi, Loomis.
Hi.
You're trying to keep going that way. Bye.
Hey.
But anyway, now I've like, learned the technique, practiced it at low weight and built up from there. Got my belt and everything. And I find I quite enjoy doing it. I can do, I can just keep going at them for a while. And then you reach that point where you suddenly start sweating, and I'm like, okay, that's the point where you're like, your body's telling you to start getting ready, So you can do it, and you're like, fine, whatever. Do your reps. And then you have a break, do something, and then eventually just like I suddenly start sweating, and I'm like, okay, yeah, so now we're closing in on the end. Put a video on about tanks or whatever. That's generally what I've been doing recently. Like an half-an-hour video about the tank museum and tanks, just while you do that specific exercise. It works quite well. Quite enjoying that. Watched a fascinating one about the T-72, which is a Soviet tank. I think it's the main one being used in Russia and Ukraine, by Russia and Ukraine. And there's like the I don't know, he's like research head or whatever. It was in the tank regiment, and talks like that, as you'd imagine. I suppose he was an officer or something in the Royal Tank Regiment. And anyway, he's very informative, knows his stuff. But he was talking to like one of the mechanics, like volunteers, I think, at the Tank Museum, who was from East Germany. And why you got off? I'm coming. What are you doing? You're gonna cause an accident.
Sorry,
You're gonna cause an accident. Ah, look at this. What a farce.
I was looking at that villager.
You've caused a derailment.
There's a villager on the tracks.
There is. This is a railway disaster. Ah, no. What a farce. Yeah, we do need to help that villager, actually. But yeah,
I'll go get my things first.
Sure, let me chuck some stuff at you then. Well, yeah. I'm going to throw it here, okay? And you want beet seeds, don't you?
Yes.
Vital to your construction project.
Exclusively carrying beet seeds.
There you go. But yeah, the rest of your stuff's in the Tyson market, the Tyson Candles Memorial Lighthouse and all.
Thank you.
Sorry, what am I going to say then? I had a thought. Yes, a fellow from Eastern Germany. And he was a tank commander in the East German army. Like, he did his national service, like qualified in every position in the tank, and became a tank commander. He did it for a couple of years. And he knows them really well, and it was fascinating to hear like the perspective of someone who actually operated them. Because like Soviet tanks, I mean, probably different in like Slovenia, I would think. But like over here, like Soviet tanks were always treated as like this mysterious, vague thing, aren't they? Like some kind of unknowable quantity. Yeah, he buys all sorts of good stuff. We need to get this villager back. And I forgot this little nook. Oh, dear. Oh, there's like a whole chasm. You could probably. Oh, that's not very safe at all. Oh, you know the chasm under Chasmby, the big one with the bridge near the keep.
Yeah.
That's where they're going from. Where they're going from. So we need to like just brick this up slightly so it's not accessible from the other side. Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. There's like a load of golems stuck down here as well, but like, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so like the Soviet tanks were always treated as like either unknowable or useless, depending on the person you talk to. Like there's all these myths about like the autoloader on a T-72 will like cut your arm off if you're not careful, and like, you know, any direct hit and they'll blow up and take the turret off and all this. So it really interesting to hear someone actually talk about them with that kind of experience, who knows how to operate them. And to actually hear him talk really highly of them were quite nice. Just to catch up on chat a moment. Oh, I used to do tons of work that needed those deadlift muscles as a teenager. I feel like a lot of my strength has somehow stayed with me from various work activities from back then. Some of the strength like seems to disappear straight away, doesn't it? And some seems to really linger with you. Like I've got like much thicker legs than I have like arms, like any part of my body, like disproportionately. And I'm sure that built up when I used to work in patient records. You know, and I was constantly like storming about carrying great bundles of notes. I'd like chucking them in trolleys and pushing them up steep slopes and stuff. And it seems to mostly have stopped. I don't know how. Who needs tanks when you've got mountainous terrain where they're almost entirely useless? Yeah, that's the main solution, isn't it? I was reading earlier about the Korean War. Well, not reading, I just saw an excerpt about how tanks were used in the Korean War because North Korea is so hilly that, like, again, tanks are pretty much useless. So what they tended to do was park them up on the top and use them as artillery. Which is like not what they're for, but it kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I just have an idea. Apparently the British Centurion was really good for that. We were talking about the Centurion the other day, weren't we? Because it's got a really powerful gun and it had really good optics. Okay, and steal. Right, I'm trying to lure the villager away. Apparently you can hit something with a Centurion from 4,000 yards away. Which is a long way.
Yeah.
And so that's what they did. Also, it's a powerful gun with good optics. You can do that. Yeah, man, that's it. I'm just like luring this villager, like dangling a carrot but using a bird. I have a message I need to reply to in a moment. But I need to lure this villager away first. Come on. Come on. Where've they gone? That's it, come on. I might let him actually keep them. No, I need to lure him. Come on, villager, there we go. I still have pretty strong legs from caving and I've not done it in years. I was competing with my brother in leg lifts on some machine and I maxed out with one leg and he couldn't do it with both and he's pretty strong himself. This is not going to work, actually. I think I'm too fair. He's done martial arts for a decade now. He was a bit miffed about it. I bet he was.
When I'm caring for my granddad, I'm frequently caught off guard by how terrifyingly strong he still is.
Yeah. I know.
Being like in his 80s and not having done anything approaching exercise for decades, he's still built like a tank. Like, he's pure muscle.
I know Asmoth said, like, because obviously Asmoth's a doctor, that like if you've got like an old person with dementia, say, and they just like come at you, he's like they're way stronger than you'd think. They might be like a little old lady, and like if she clocks you, you know about it.
Yeah. Like part of it, yeah, is that there's no restraint. It's 100% muscle usage, and like healthy people do not normally do that.
No.
But even so, the muscle is very much there.
Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it?
He did a lot of physical stuff through his life, and it has stuck with him.
Yeah. Right, so I've lured the villager back into the village. Where they'll go from here, I don't know. They'll probably try and get in the keep or something. If it's a little old lady that used to knead bread and wash clothes by hand, she'll fucking tear your arm off for that grip strength. Yeah, absolutely. Have you got me better? Are you luring him?
Oh. I was trying to. He's not interested in it now, though.
No, I have to wait till
Let's have
night.
it back.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think he's alright from here. He's not far from that bell, so...
No, that's true. We just need to maybe give him a, what do we call it? Composter, so that so we can put him to work.
Yeah. He finds one.
The important thing, because we already seem to have villagers who aren't using them, so I feel like they.
Yeah, he knows where he's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the looks of him.
Yeah, I think we need to set up more composters. Yeah, we can't have people just not working, Lewis. It's not how not how this works, you know. We've got to be. Everybody's got to pull their weight, you know.
They're pulling their weight. Are you?
Yeah, exactly. One of my favourite Second World War propaganda campaigns is the one that done it right at the beginning of the war, and it was like a picture of I don't know, like a tank, and some people working or whatever, and it was like, your struggle, your sacrifice, your effort will bring us victory, and people absolutely hated it. It was really caused real upset. And it was because the people who made the posters intended it to me. And, if you work hard, you sacrifice, whatever, then together we will have victory, right? Will bring us victory. But people took it as, you work hard and us, the upper class, will have victory. And apparently people got really mad about it. Completely backfired. And they had to really quickly take down these posters they'd put up over the whole UK. Which is just fantastic. What a bungle. Yeah. And of course that's what people are going to view it as. Might try to Matilda 2 on it, but I could be making that up. So it's one of those, if you don't work, you don't eat type of scenarios. I very nearly said that, word for word. I nearly said, in the words of St. Paul, those who do not work should not eat. Great minds think alike. As an aside, St. Paul was talking about church funds in that one, but capitalists have taken it to mean a general moral principle. In the original. I don't like St. Paul, by the way. Just to get that out of there, I'm not a fan of St. Paul with his horrendous patriarchy. But because he meant if you have a church fund, church resources, people shouldn't just obviously you have stuff you give away, but the stuff you share together should be for people who are actually involved, and you're not just letting people rip you off essentially. Which sure, I can see that. But people have taken it to be well, this is in the Bible, so if you don't work, you don't get to eat. No, that's not what it is. Thatcher used it like that as well. Yeah. Thatcher. I've even heard communists cite it, brackets MLs. I can believe it, honestly, be right. I know I should treat it as a position worthy of great respect, but I always struggle a little bit with MLs just because they're very often really easily offended. If you say, yeah, I think Lenin was wrong there, you get, well, hold on now. But you can't offend like St. Lenin or something. Which of course just makes me want to do it more. Like that sounds like you're an enemy of the people there, comrade. Oh, I've been found out. I'm going to be denounced for counter-revolutionary activities. I was actually reading earlier about the what were they called? The ones they had during the Great Cultural. What was the whole thing called? Mao, when he like finagled situations to allow him to get rid of his enemies in the 60s. Not the Great Leap Forward, because that was a disaster, and like that was what got him out of power, more or less. Was it the Great Cultural Revolution or something like that?
Yeah.
Where it was basically Mao stirred up people to get angry, so he could target it against the people who like opposed him, and then he could like get them out. And then a lot of that involved like grand, like ceremonies where people denounced each other and people were denounced and all that stuff. And that's obviously what we need to start doing. We obviously need more of that. That's what Marx would have wanted. To be fair, it's mostly white MLs that I don't trust. There's plenty of great black Marxists that align very well with anarchist views, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's a very I'm talking about MLs, but I think it's a very like specific, like very should I say very westernized, I guess, interpretation of Marxism-Leninism. That's there's a lot you can say about it. No, I don't want. Yeah, that's what this person does not have what I want. I don't want to be like. I don't want to get accused of revisionism. But yeah, there's certain like interpretations where it becomes very dogmatic and very like very oppressive. I think actually, like you get that those who do not work should not eat, and very anti-sex worker and stuff like that. Anti like alcohol. I've seen all of that, because the idea that like to seek pleasure is decadent and decadence is bourgeois. Therefore, to do something you enjoy makes you an enemy of the people. I like what's the other one? We were discussing about the other day, and I can't focus. I can't think what it was. And it was a specific example. It was really good. The alienation from labour thing. Right. So obviously we're alienated from the results of our labour, aren't we? That's like fairly typical thing. And there's this idea that once we're not, we won't actually want to do anything else. Because you're at the carrots, that's good. Because we'll take all the pleasure we need from our labour. So we wouldn't want to like have fun anymore because our work would give us everything we need. I was like, I don't want that revolution. I don't want a world where I only have to do a job. I want to paint models. Like I'll do all sorts for the commune. I just need to paint models as well. Or like, I don't know. Just not that, please. Not that. That's a very Protestant framework. It really is, isn't it? It's like so Presbyterian. It's like I remember seeing an internet comic ages ago, and it was this bloke found this like plain wooden lamp and rubbed it, and out came a Presbyterian genie. And he's like, "Wow, a genie! Like, will you grant me 3 wishes?" Like, no, I will grant 3 wishes to your grandchildren, assuming you spend the rest of your life in ceaseless, thankless toil. That doesn't sound great. Does this mean at least I'm going to heaven? Only if you engage in a life of ceaseless, thankless toil. And to be honest, you're talking to a genie, so that's not a good sign. I was like, yeah. If you don't know, Presbyterianism is a form of Christianity that emphasizes this this idea that life is supposed to be hard and it's supposed to be full of suffering. And that, if you enjoy life, you're doing it wrong. And that, what you should be doing is like this ceaseless toil. You should be struggling, you should be suffering because that's what God wants, and he'll reward. The more you suffer, the more he'll reward you in heaven. Which is just a horrible view. Can you imagine that's your life?
Yes.
Just like a nightmare, isn't it?
It's very sounds very similar to being a Dwarf Fortress player.
I mean, that is true. And of course, that kind of attitude also led to what Emma Goldman was writing about when it's usually paraphrased as, if I can't dance, I don't want that revolution, or however people usually paraphrase it. But it was because someone had told her that like she shouldn't go out dancing because that was like frivolous. And like, you know, she needed to focus on the revolutionary work. So she was saying like it's supposed to be, the point of the revolution is to make life better, not worse. I will forever quote Andrewism's pinned tweet. People don't just deserve to eat food. I wondered if it was going to be this one, by the way, be right. People don't just deserve to eat food, they deserve to eat delicious food. People don't just deserve clothes, they deserve nice, stylish, well-fitting clothes. People don't just deserve the bare minimum to be alive, they deserve to live fully and have nice things and be happy. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. I think it's such a good quote. Because, of course, we're not talking about what some people call like socialist abundance. You know, this idea of we'll produce even more after the revolution. Like, we're not talking about that. But just the fact that we shouldn't just have enough. We shouldn't just be getting by. We should be like, people should have the right to have a good world, right? A good life. We don't want to be recreating Presbyterianism. Yeah, absolutely. Thinking of communist thought, by the way. I've been very tempted recently to become a Hosierist, just because it's ridiculous. Yeah. Like at this point, it's Hosierism or Positism, and I don't know which. And just like very seriously claim that that's what I believe in. Are you familiar with Positism at all? Posadism, I should say.
I'm not.
It's Posada was a communist thinker in Italy, who actually, you know, he has like a certain amount of like serious ideas. But he's mostly famous for two things. One is his belief that some massive social upheaval would allow make it easier to create a communist world, which is probably true, right? You know, like, look at the First World War and allowing the conditions for the communist revolution in Russia and so forth. But that therefore, nuclear war would do that. And therefore, we should do everything in our power to create nuclear war, because it would actually be a net good. And then B-Rat's alluding to the second. I don't remember what either is about, but I remember Posadism has something to do with aliens. And that's the thing that people mostly know. It's all nuclear war and aliens, because Posada believed that in order to achieve interstellar travel, you would have to be a communist society, because that's the only one that could unite to get things capable of interstellar travel. Fair enough. Therefore, aliens must be communist, and so we should do everything in our power to contact UFOs so that they can help us bring communism on Earth. So people normally regard him as like a pillock. But it's very funny. There's also something about dolphins, but I've been told 3 or 4 times what the dolphins thing is, and I can never remember it. I think it's something to do with the thought that dolphins were also intelligent, therefore they're likely to be communist too, I think was his thinking. So therefore we should try and contact the dolphins to join us in our revolution. I think that's it. That sounds extreme accelerationism. Yeah, that idea of a tremendous societal upheaval will make communism easier, therefore we should create one no matter how destructive. Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? It's why Posada's lies are regarded as a bit of a joke, I think. Because it's all nuclear war and aliens. The older I... Oh, that's all a path. There's no way to put my bed down. The older I get, the less I want space travel. The more I want a nice train to the shore, and then a sailing ship to go visit friends on other continents. Because I don't need an aeroplane, because I can take a few weeks to get there. Yeah, definitely. I can totally see that be right.
Space is just another thing that rich people own these days.
It's, I'd like me, what do they call it, luxury gay space communism. But But yeah, I think that sounds lovely what you're saying there, B-Rat. Just like a nice train journey and then just taking your time to travel about because you can. Because you're not under those pressures. You can have a few weeks to go and travel somewhere, see friends, whatever. Yeah, definitely. That sounds lovely. Hosierism. To be honest, I don't remember the serious points of it. It's similar to MLM-ism, Marxist-Leninist Maoism, right? It draws from both Marxist-Leninist and Maoist traditions. But it's mostly, like, the thing people mostly remember Hoxha for is like declaring everybody else to be revisionists. It's that guy. He was in charge of Albania. Enver Hoxha. It's spelled Hoxha, but apparently it's pronounced Hoxha. And he basically declared, like, after the Second World War, he declared like the eternal friendship of the Albanian Labour Party with Yugoslavia, right? With the Communist Party of Yugoslavia. And then Tito like said they could use markets or something. So he declared that was a betrayal of the revolution and they were revisionists. And he declared that Albania would never deal with them again. And he declared the eternal friendship of the Labour Party of Albania with the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. And then Stalin died and Khrushchev said they were going to make some changes. So he declared they betrayed the revolution and they were revisionists. And Albania would never have anything to do with them again. And then he declared the eternal friendship of the Labour Party of Albania with the Communist Party of China. And then, I think it was when Mao died and he made some changes and he declared that they were revisionists who betrayed the revolution. And Albania would never have anything to do with them again. And so that's like, it's just like a sketch, right? There's something slapstick about him repeatedly declaring eternal friendship, finding out they don't quite align with him in every detail, then declaring them like revisionists who are enemies of Albania. Like it's funny. That's all I kind of really know Hoxha for. Oh, then he built loads of bunkers because he was convinced that Albania was going to get invaded. Because he'd alienated like everybody who could have helped him.
Yeah.
I think he was really terrified about Yugoslavia invading as well because they were neighbours and Yugoslavia was bigger and richer and more population and everything. So he built 176,000 bunkers. Which is a few. That's a few bunkers, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's like the bunkers thing is what he's known for as well. Like he did a lot of good in Albania, I should know. But he also had like a lot of mass executions and show trials. So swings and roundabouts. Apparently there's an old joke that I was told the other week, which is because before that Second World War, in Albania, women literally had the status of property. Like, not even like in the sense that they had in like Western Europe or whatever. They were literally the property of their like fathers or husbands or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the joke is like, before the war, women were treated as property. After the war, women were treated completely the equal of men. They were both executed as Yugoslavian spies. It's just, I quite like that. That's quite funny. Because it's a joke on equality, right? But Hoxha's equality. Do you get it?
Yeah.
It's equal, but it's not good. Do you see though? Like it's equal, but do you get it though? Like it's like no. Okay. Yeah, that's the joke. Which I got.
It's gone over my head.
No, okay, well, you see, they weren't equal before. But no, so he's kind of a joke. Obviously. He's the reason there's that communist kid who's the spy in that episode at Simpsons. Adil, is it something like that? Who's like, where you get that brilliant scene where it cuts to the Simpsons dining table, and Homer says, "Kids, stop fighting," because like Lisa and Adil are rowing. You're like, kids, stop fighting. maybe Lisa's right that America's the land of opportunity. And maybe Adil's right that the wheels of capitalism are oiled with the blood of the workers. I just love Homer saying that. I wish I could remember some of the more obscure Yugoslav communist bureaucracy jokes. Oh, I'd like to hear them if ever you do.
The revisionism thing's reminding me of that old joke about the guy who finds somebody stood on a bridge about to jump. And he's like trying to talk him out of it, and he's like, you know, are you a Christian? And the guy says, and the guy about to jump says, yeah. And the guy says, you know, me too. Which group? And you know, he goes through all these questions with him, and each time it's like, oh, me too. You know, Orthodox or Reformist? Oh, Reformist, me too. And I guess the end, it's like 1917 Reformation or 1919 Reformation. 1917 Reformation. And then, die, heathen! Shoves him off the bridge.
I like that. I saw that joke about an American tourist in Northern Ireland during the Troubles, and they get pulled over by some people in balaclavas,
yeah.
And they like hold them at gunpoint, and they like make them roll, make them get out of the car, and he's like, he demands to know what they're doing. He's like, we're just American tourists. He's like, okay, but are you Protestant or Catholic? He goes, no, I'm Jewish. And he's like, yeah, a Protestant Jew or a Catholic Jew? It's like one of those very niche. Like, who's going to get that outside the UK? And who's going to remember that now? Like, a lot of people nowadays probably weren't born during the Troubles. Who even remembers that? So we're talking about Tolkien in KiraChat's Discord, and I had the horrifying realization that I'd started reading Tolkien before a number of people there were born. I just felt myself start to age. Just like turn into a wizened husk. I think I'm thinking about that because of that thing I put in the meme channel in Discord, where someone had said that everything they wanted in life was a really bad, like tasteless Ubisoft game, like Far Cry game set during the Troubles,
Yeah.
with like an obvious like cartoonish stand-in for Jerry Adams as the villain. I want that too. Can you imagine how awful that'd be?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be so terrible. I love it. I once knew every spell in all the tongues of elves, men, and orcs. They're exactly it. I'm just chucking taters around. And then, like, people chuck stuff out the top of a car, don't they? And everyone has to, like, fight over it. Chucking money or whatever. They call me a generous benefactor. Oh no, they're killing each other. Ah no, it's a bloodbath. A lot of hearts though, which is exactly what I wanted.
I was picturing that Simpsons where Mr. Burns tries to win people over by throwing silver dollars at the top of a tall building.
Yeah! Like car windows are getting smashed. We're like screaming and fleeing in terror. I love that. I'm gonna get rid of these green taters, by the way, because they have no purpose for us. We can't even compost them, can we?
No.
Honestly, you give me a stack of baked taters, I'm about halfway to considering marriage. Yeah, I mean, if they're really nice, like baked taters. Okay, then real talk. What's everyone's favourite kind of tater? What's everyone's kind of?
I mean, that's not a simple question.
It's not. That's true. There's a lot into it, and I think it's worth discussing.
I mean, baked taters are definitely up there. They're definitely top tier.
Nearest.
Roast taters gotta be up for consideration, though.
Yeah. Like, they're a bit more effort, aren't they, a roast tater?
Yeah.
But when you do them right, they're lovely. Like, roast taters, I know it's bizarre. Roast taters in my head are always like special occasion food.
Yeah.
Like Christmas. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Putting that bit of extra work in to get like your special taters. Definitely. Nodders. For me, mashed taters are my favourite. I am a huge mashed taters fan. I'm like Badger from Badger and Badger. That's, if you're not from the UK, you might not know what that is. It's the second finest television series ever made, after Chucklevision. And it involves a man and a badger. The badger is obviously a puppet. And as the theme song goes, badgers love mashed potatoes. And Badger likes mashed potatoes, and that's a heavy part of the plot. Like, Badger's like a rake troll, and he's always getting up to mischief. And Badger, who's the man, he's always like at the butt end of his jokes and trying to like clean up after him and stuff. And Badger's always making a mess and going like that. That's probably the best impression I've ever done. And then he goes wild for mashed potato and he gets it all over his face and it goes everywhere. And then he's up to like more mischief, So that's probably a legacy. But no, I just really love mashed potatoes. Beerot says I like it boiled, but then cross-hatched and baked with oil and herbs in it. Oh, that sounds really nice. I could go for that right now. It's 10 o'clock. That's very nice. Yeah, because you can't go wrong with chips. You can go wrong with chips if you undercook them, and they're a bit hard, aren't they? Like, as a general principle, I think you can't go wrong with chips.
Yeah.
But you don't want them all the time, do you? That's the thing with chips, I find. Like, I don't necessarily want them all the time. Which kind of ice is it we use for the railway? Is it blue?
I believe so, yeah.
Can I start deploying it to make the line between the... It won't be enough yet, but can I deploy what we've got to make the line between the station and the...
Yeah, I mean, that's functionally what it's there for.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I know it's like a really rare resource that we have no other use for, but nonetheless, must hoard. Like health potions in Skyrim.
Yeah. It can, in theory, be acquired in infinite amounts.
From traders?
From traders. So, therefore, I do not have, I don't have an autism crisis over actually using it.
Thank you.
Unlike, say, sand, which is theoretically finite.
Sup, Vodix... Hold on. Vodix Sarasota? Hi, this is Fortnite? No, this is Minecraft. This is Minecraft. I really tempted to say this is Sparta, but you know how I feel about Spartans.
Not fun.
Not fun, indeed. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome on in. Okay. That's the choice. But yeah, not fun. Not fun. We're having it. Who was I having a good laugh about Sparta with the other day? Somebody. Yeah, one of my many friends, no doubt. They're all just out of frame, laughing. Just kidding. Yeah, I know. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Lewis?
I'm really enjoying the pacifism update to Fortnite.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't really need all the guns and violence. All we really wanted was to just build things. I'm glad they've decided to focus on that.
Forwarded Zerazota, if I'm saying it right or wrong, I don't know. Mega Van then, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having a good day today. I would bet money it was Gwen. It was almost certainly Gwen, yeah. Like, if I'm talking nerdy history, it's probably Gwen. But yeah, you see, when I used to play Fortnite, I used to, like, not really kill people. Because, like, I was never any good at it. So I used to just, like, hide. I used to hide until the very end.
Wasn't a moral objection then. You would have killed people if you could.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, my pacifism was ability, not principle. It was all based on opportunity. I don't know. I don't speak English. Well, you're doing quite well so far. Okay, so massive problem. Massive problem. It's not wide enough. Any of it.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
That's not ideal.
Unfortunate. We got silk touch tools, don't we? So we don't have to like ruin all the glass.
We do, yeah.
Excellent.
We didn't test this tube at any point, huh?
No.
You know what? That's on me. I'm the one that's supposed to test things.
That's true.
You're supposed to like have some beautiful thing you want to work on, and I'm supposed to come over and ruin it. This won't work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my job, and I've let you down.
Well, I appreciate the thought. I got all my FPS aggression out with Quake 3 Arena. I don't think I really played PvP games after that. It's yeah, so I used to like play Fortnite for a while. I played it like quite a bit for like a few weeks. I ended up with like a really high score on the leaderboards, like top whatever, like first in Europe or some ridiculous score. But just by getting to the end. Like I didn't just kill anybody. I just used to like hide and sneak around and escape whenever there were trouble. And you just score a ton of points if you get in the closer you get to the end, right? You get more points if you kill people, but if you can't, don't worry about it. That's how I used to do it. That was my plan. So we got to widen it, which is unfortunate. It's just the walls, right? Like, Yeah, we just gotta like silk touch it and just like make it wider, and then I'm gonna have to walk the route, make sure it could, which way it can be widened. That's no real problem. Just a chore, that's all. No problem otherwise. But yeah, sorry, go on.
I got a rush. I want to finish my structure tonight.
Nice. I have to yeah, we can move stations. That's no real issue, right? That's fine. Yeah, okay. I was going to say something else then. My mind's gone blank. Got distracted. PlanetSide 2. That's the FPS I enjoyed most. I wasn't good at it either, but I enjoyed it.
Like, yeah. I played that game with you a bunch of times, and I don't think I ever got a single kill.
You were there for moral support.
Yeah.
I
don't think I think I died too quickly to be moral support. Like, even when I played like support classes that were supposed to hang back and not do the frontline fighting, I'd still die before I did anything.
It depends, like, because for me, like, obviously, for most people, probably, you're playing PlanetSide 2, you're going where the fighting's thickest, right? Like, where there's, like, hundreds of people on each side, and you got tons of vehicles, planes dogfighting in the sky, like, it's a whole thing. And that's a lot of fun. I've done that. But what I like to do is get in a lorry, especially if you've got pals, right, like me and you, whatever, and just go driving out. Drive out cross country where there's nobody fighting and just casually claim a few bases. And nobody's looking, nobody's paying you any attention. You're just like, park up your lorry, steal a base.
That's the thing. I remember trying to do that a bunch of times, and I still die over and over again.
I mean, true. Maybe we'll have to try it again sometime. We'll just like really stick together and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because if you, as I say, the stuff I enjoyed was like, do you remember when we were in that lorry and I had to hide under a bridge because someone was shooting at us? That plane kept like dive bombing us, and we couldn't get the elevation on the guns to shoot back at it. So I just parked us up under a bridge. We hid until they went away. I think then we drove further down the road and came across like a tank, and I had to like try and back us out of that, like back us off the road and hide again. Well, for me that's like fun because I'm just having fun driving because I like driving in games like I do in life.
Yeah.
And I like military vehicles, especially stuff that like armored cars. So I find it fun to just get in a military lorry and just cruise around like that. Also, it's got air brakes, so when you put the brakes on, it does the tss, and that pleases me. It feels like you're really like it gives the brakes a weight that like vehicle brakes don't really have in games.
Yeah.
I really like to. I think I initially try playing a class I'd never played before, and then we really struggled, so I just went back to heavy assault. Pretty sure that was it. Like I don't mind heavy assault.
Yeah. I think we all had the experience of trying to do a few different classes and finding there was only one we could do anything with.
Heavy assault. I like the idea of light assault with your little jump pack that hop around and stuff. I've also played as infiltrator. Because like the main infiltrator ones, you got a sniper rifle and a shield that makes you invisible so long as you don't move. Like you remain invisible when you shoot, but not if you move. But you can also take it with a pistol, where the shield that makes you invisible when you move, but not when you shoot. Which plays really differently. That's really fun. Because that involves you like creeping up on people and shooting them before they see you. You know, before they spot the blur in the air. And that's really fun to do. I like, you can use your knife as well. You're not anywhere dangerous, are you, that's going to get killed by a skeleton again?
No. But I can pop down a bed if you
Oh, I mean, I'm fine. I just didn't want you to get, like, killed in the fields.
Well, let's pop one down anyway.
No, okay. I didn't want there to be like there's something in the field. Yeah, I didn't want that scenario. That was a reference to League of Legends, if you don't know. One of the characters is a demon of fear, and all of his lines are things people said before he killed them. And it's astoundingly creepy. Just like genuinely like horrifying. Like someone out of a horror game stumbled into your MOBA.
Yeah. I like that. Like when he's copying something somebody said, all his lines are really weird and unsettling and distorted. He does very rarely say something himself.
Oh yeah.
And he has a completely different voice when he does that.
Yeah, that is just no. Yeah, that's really horrifying. And against like the playable characters, he says what they fear most, doesn't he? Rather than like the last thing a person said.
Yeah.
He says what they fear most, which is also horrifying.
There's no one left. The skeleton took them. The scarecrow took them all.
Yeah.
Except me.
Oh yeah, that's it, isn't it? Is that when you get a pentakill or something?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Just changes to the "accept me." No thanks.
I think there's only 5 occasions on which he uses his real voice. That one there, the Pentakiller, when he's killed everybody. Except me. And the other 4 are when he greets other demons.
Oh yeah.
Warm. Secrets. Tom Kedge. Addiction.
That's it. Evelyn Payne?
Yeah. Or agony.
Agony. Agony.
Yeah.
He does, doesn't he? Like
Yeah.
really stresses the syllables weird.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is a proof to all remaining millennial math prize problems. Waits for answer. Pauses. Oh yeah, it's terrible if that happened.
I'm begging you, Brer Bear. Please don't throw me into the remaining millennial math problem solution patch.
One of my favourite bits in Lord of the Rings is when Frito persuades the Nozdrel to throw him to safety by claiming it's the thing he'd hate most. Oh no, I'd hate it if you threw me over into what's it called? Rivendell. Oh, that'd be the worst thing you could possibly do to me. Please don't do that. I'd hate it. Oh, if that's what you're afraid of, that's what we'll do. Like, he's so ridiculous. But then so is Lord of the Rings. The other day when we watched Fellowship of the Ring in QHS Discord, she was lamenting that she hates the Hobbits. Like, they're so twee and like wholesome. She was saying she absolutely hated it. And all I could think of was the Boggies. And now that is very much not them.
Yeah.
How they're just like universally awful. So you're not familiar with what we're talking about. Lord of the Rings is a parody of Lord of the Rings, done by the people who would go on to make the National Lampoon films. Or some of them at least. And in it, it's a spoof, and everybody's just awful in that version of Lord of the Rings. Everybody's awful. Petty, vicious, just terrible people. And the Boggies are the equivalent of the Hobbits. And they're just like greedy, nasty, just deeply unpleasant. And like when they have the equivalent of Bilbo's party, which of course is the great party for dildo buggers, as he's called in that. The whole point is they all like try and eat as much as possible. And there's like a whole description about them all like passing out, just eating ludicrous amounts of food just because they're trying to like outdo, like trying to make sure others don't get more than them. Like, it's just this like pointless pettiness. Give her until the end of the trilogy and she'll begrudgingly love the Hobbits. We're gonna have to see. She loved Fellowship of the Ring. She only watched half of the Two Towers yesterday because her mum turned up. When she stopped posting anything in the chat, I said to her today, I thought either her mum's turned up or she hates the film so much she just like walked off and isn't saying anything anymore. Thankfully it wasn't that. And of course what you do have to partly it is involved like being very honest in kind of discussions about like where are the women? That's a problem. As much as I love Tolkien, we got to admit those things, haven't we? Like, where are the women? Like, Eowyn's very important, sure. Galadriel, of course. But, like, Arwen, whose whole character's written around Aragorn, right? And, of course, basically none of the... I mean, are any of the other female characters in the... Like, have a role in the films? Because there's no Scouring of the Shire, so that means no important role for Lobelia Sackville Baggins, who becomes like the core of the Hobbit resistance. And there's no Ioreth, who like provides the medicinal knowledge to like save everybody in Return of the King. And is also there to just annoy the crap out of Gandalf. Which is probably stereotypical, but is also tremendously funny. Like when he was trying to like, ask her for information, she just keeps like talking to him about whatever. He's like, "Stop it! This is life or death. Stop! Try and take things more seriously, please." Well, we know at least we know the Entwives are canonically lost, so that explains one part of the puzzle. That's true. We know why there's no women there. There were questions about orc women. I was like, well, Tolkien said that there were orc women. They are there. They're just not necessarily like you can't necessarily tell them apart. Which is like not a great answer really, but it's true. Otherwise, yeah. And of course, the other issues obviously is that, and I think there's like a whole conversation to be had there. I've said this before about Tolkien's like personal thoughts about race, but then how he depicts that in his book is different, right? Like the whole thing of it being functionally, and the film whitewashes it even more, but functionally like your white Europeans against the rest of the world. And like probably, I mean, it's quite possible. I don't want to say probably because we don't know. But given Tolkien's criticism of racism, one cannot help but be appalled by the treatment of colour. His criticism of colonialism, in his letters and his essays. He may not have intended anything by that, just done it like, here's where I live, it's them against the rest of the world. But what that doesn't matter, he's still essentially applying a racist trope, right? And he's still kind of pitching it as white Europeans against the world. And they're the good guys and there's everyone else are the villains. Now, yes, of course, because I feel like you might point it out, there are the Dunlendins, who are obviously white and evil, and Saruman. And people like that, but there's still that correlation in them. Yeah. And I think like I would always do the discussion of the Haradrim. I think are portrayed quite sympathetically, as victims of Gondorian colonization, who then turn to Sauron essentially as an ally they need to protect themselves, unaware they're trading like one exploiter for another. Right? Although that's
kind of what Sauron does.
Yeah, yeah, that is his thing. And of course, you can also have discussions about that as a narrative as well. Then there's the Easterlings, which I always think is interesting because when you talk about the Easterlings, everybody already has an idea in their mind where the Easterlings are from, but Tolkien never actually says. Like, because when you talk about Easterlings, people always go, "Oh yeah, we know where they're from, though. Like, we know what race they are, or where they're from." And some people say Middle East, some people say like the steppes. Other people say, Far East. And I think there's truth in some of them, but not all of them. But Tolkien never says. He doesn't really describe them either. But they're still outsiders, is the thing.
Yeah.
I think in the extended version, Faramir even says something about one of the soldiers he killed. I think Sam says that in the books, though. He does, and I know what you're going to quote, and I love that quote. So this is Faramir's version. The enemy? His sense of duty was no less than yours, I deem. You wonder what his name is, where he came from, and if he was really evil at heart. What lies or threats led him on this long march from home, if he would not rather have stayed there in peace. War will make corpses of us all. Yeah, I think that's great because it's an anti-war statement. And also I love that depiction. Yes, as you say in the books, it's Sam thinking about it. Although I understand why they give it to Faramir to say in the films, right? That idea that they're not evil, they're not innately evil. That they've been threatened or lied to or tricked or persuaded or whatever in order to serve Sauron. I think that's a really good point to make, and I think it shows a sympathy for the Haradrim. Easterlings are the ones who absolutely worship Sauron, though. They're the ones who are like, hell yeah, let's go. That's But of course there's different groups of Easterlings, which is the thing that Tolkien left intentionally vague, perhaps. So like you've got the Easterlings, right, that you normally encounter. Then you've got a whole point in the books where the Gondorians are like, this is a new group of Easterlings and we've never met them before. They're not tall, but stout and bearded like dwarves, carrying heavy axes. And that's the only description we give. And then the other one are the Variags of Khand, who are never described. But Variag comes from, I want to say it's an old Slavic word that refers to people from Northern Europe. or historically referred to people from, I think it means foreigner, but it historically referred to people from Northern Europe. So are they meant to be perhaps Numenorians who've settled in the East, wherever the East is? We don't know. Nothing's ever said about them. But I think certainly a lot of the Easterlings very much have a steppe nomad vibe to them, like the Wayne Riders, and their descendants, the Balkoth. So it still fulfills that trope, even if Tolkien never actually says these were Middle Easterners or wherever.
Yeah.
And if Tolkien were alive now, would he have written it differently? Like we don't know, do we? We can. I know there's a great video by James Summerton. Sorry, I'm on a roll here. You've probably got thoughts of your own. I'll let you fail it. But James Summerton does a great video that was inspired by the Rings of Power. And he's called, I think it's Representation in Fantasy or something like that. And he talks about how Tolkien did show a willingness to change things and did change his ideas over time. So perhaps he would have been different today. And yes, in a lot of his views, he was actually quite progressive for his time. But that doesn't mean he's progressive forever. And actually, the fact that we look at him as not progressive shows that perhaps we have moved on a bit. Or at least some of us, we would hope. Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a lot of complicated thoughts. Well, not that complicated, but I really like his stories, and I wish they didn't have those elements that I don't like. More female characters, please, and also none of the racism, if you don't mind. Thanks.
Yeah.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Plus, I love about him though. And of course, if you've not read them when you were first 7, and grown up with them, of course you're going to notice it. It's going to be a bigger deal for you than it would be if you just kind of almost accepted it because that's what's in those books you love. I'm going to leave alone the transport tube for now until we decide what we're going to do with it.
Yeah.
What alterations we're going to make.
You up for running a little late tonight?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not at work tomorrow, so absolutely. If you want to, I'm just gonna have to stand up and stretch though.
Sure.
My bum's going numb.
It's very, very close to finishing what I'm working on.
Oh yeah, sure. That's fine then. Oh, that's better. There we go. Yeah, I can go a little bit later. What are you thinking? 32?
Yeah, I think that should do it.
Yeah, 33 maybe.
Well, I suppose it's good to have a little bit of slack in the schedule, just in case.
Yeah. Okay, I was kind of winding up, so now I need... Wait a minute, was that a villager being heard? It sounded like it. In which case, where? There's a villager with no job, but at the bottom of a flight of stairs, and I don't know if they fell down the stairs and hurt themselves. The Undercroft.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a fence around that, I think. I think villagers are falling down and hurting themselves. And I don't want that. Call me old-fashioned.
I'm glad you specified.
I think it's important to be clear. There we go, it's all fenced off now. They can't hurt themselves. I should have a poke round though in case it wasn't that one and there's villagers falling down somewhere else as they want to do. Don't like it. Fences around stairs. We used to be a proper country. That's true. It is a problem. I love the horrendous cacophony in here.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day, actually. Like, but last stream there was a point where you were trying to talk to me and I was in the factory, so I left so I could hear you properly. And it was only after that I was thinking that I remembered that those machines serve no purpose other than to make noise.
It's a factory, so you've got loud machinery.
Yeah.
That is actually brilliant. The fact that it like interfered with like the stream. But achieves nothing. Brilliant, beautiful. It almost feels weird when you come out and it's quiet.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you almost feel like there should be a constant cacophony of machines. Alright, let's go up there. There we go. Hello. What are you working on, by the way? Is it something I can come and nosy at when it's done?
I will definitely invite you over when it's finished. I think you will like it.
Excellent. Is it a giant edifice to me?
I mean, arguably.
Excellent.
Oops.
That's never a good noise.
It's fine.
If you accidentally destroyed it.
No, I just bought more than I meant to.
Ah, okay. Wait, how much more?
Not many more. I wasted like 4 emeralds.
No, that's fine then.
Still.
Still, yeah, it's got to be accounted for.
Yeah.
There's a bloke in Mad Max Fury Road who, I mean, like he's like the villain's like one of his right-hand men, I guess. And there's one point where things have happened and he like pulls up alongside him because they're all in like their own cars, aren't they? Like ridiculously done up hot rod type cars. And he like pulls up alongside him and then just reels off everything they've lost during the course of the film. And how that means, you know, and how what they've gained doesn't offset it, so that's pure deficit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, this is an accountant applying the skills post-apocalyptically. The character's called the People Eater, by the way, so you know. Just, nice person.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Reminds me of there was an arc in the Transformers comics where so you know Ratbat, one of
Yeah.
Soundwave's summons, a very minor character.
Sure, he's in at least like a scene in the film.
Yeah. In the comics, a bit of side lore that was established about him is that he's like the accountant / quartermaster.
Okay. Like the summons all of the Decepticons.
Oh, for all the Decepticons.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Ratbat takes care of their supplies. He's just got a really, really good head for numbers.
Right. And that's brilliant.
And there's an arc in which the entire Decepticon leadership is taken out. Like Megatron, Soundwave, Starscream, nobody's around. They're all gone for a while. But Ratbat, as quartermaster, is technically an officer. He is now the highest ranking person in the Decepticon army.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So he takes over the Decepticons and is horrifyingly good at it.
Because he's efficient.
Yeah. The Decepticons are normally the mad kind of evil, and he's a very efficient kind of evil.
Oh no.
Everything is done carefully and properly and with full coordination and planning, and it is nightmarish.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You know, up until the point where Decepticon commanders come back and beat him up for daring to sit in their chair.
Sure.
as was perhaps inevitable.
Yeah.
But for a while, he is terrifying.
Oh, that's fantastic. And Birat says, the worst temporary deafness I've ever experienced was weirdly not after a metal or even EDM concert, but after working in a data center without ear protection. Because the fans in there just produce what is essentially white noise. Until you don't white noise, you don't really notice how absolutely loud it is until you get out. Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just sounds really unpleasant. The temporary deafness, the worst I've ever had was actually after Metallica. I went with my friend to see Metallica, and it was super loud. And but I think like a week later, just over about 10 days later, I was at work, and I dropped off some notes in endoscopy where she used to work, and she was like, "Dude, can you hear right?" And I was like, "No, no, I can't." And she said, "Oh, thank goodness it's not just me." I was like, "No, I've got this ringing in my ears still." Like 10 days later, and she's like, "Yeah, me too." Yeah. She bought a pair of earplugs after that, like special ones they weren't expensive, but they were ones that were designed by someone who'd been like a guitarist or something. And he's like, "This is so you can still hear everything very clearly, but it just takes like the volume off." And they work really, really well. And I got a pair after she'd tested them, and we've always both of them worn them to every gig we've been to since. And I've not seen her for a while. We've talked about that before. But she used to, whenever she texted me to be like, "I'll pick you up at whatever time," because she always liked to drive. She'd then say, "Don't forget your earplugs," because I forgot them once, so she always reminded me thereafter. "Don't forget your earplugs." Sounds like a good idea. It made it so much better. Because you just didn't hurt your ears after that. Put them in. Listen to music. And in a way, it almost made it better because it took the edge off the volume. You could actually hear some of the stuff clearer. It weren't quite so overwhelming. So. I appreciate it. It was a good find on her part. But as I said last time, after she... last time I hung out with her was when she introduced me to her boyfriend. And then never hung out with me again, so there we go. I've seen her at work, but nothing since. So I'm going to go get ready for bed now. Thank you for streaming. Have fun there, and Loomis. Thank you for keeping us company this whole time, Beer Out. You've been doing that so much recently, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hope you have a good night's sleep. I know it's very late in Slovenia, so...
It's very nice to see you on the Discord as well. It's really lovely to have a new regular there.
Yes, it is. You've like revitalised everything, Beer Out, so thank you. It's nice to see all your posts. That's really nice. Thank you. Thank you, Loomis, for pointing that out. Night, Beer Out. I don't think we'll be tremendously... Yeah. I don't think we'll be tremendously longer as cells, will we? But...
Yeah, I'm almost done.
Oh, cool. I'm just asleep, and then I'm going to sell some stuff.
Oh, oops. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just holding off all these creepers and skeletons. I'm not, that's a massive lie. Just like chilling. Just like doing whatever, you know. Alright. Oh, did you hear the news from Ukraine, by the way? I know we don't talk about the Ukraine war yet, because like NATO stuff, right? But they've knocked out a challenger.
Oh.
And, like we were, like they've made me a liar, Loomis.
Yeah.
Because like last week, I was like, no, Challenger 2 has ever been knocked out by enemy action. Yeah, that changed today, apparently. Apparently the Russians have knocked one out, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
To be fair, Challenger 2's previous gen now.
They technically are, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, there's the Challenger 3 now.
That's true.
So, like, they were never knocked out when they were current gen.
That's true. Like most countries, MBTs are actually older, aren't they? Like in the Abrams, quite old. The American tank. Melting.
Although it depends. You sort of got the situation where like the original was very old, but they been upgraded a lot of new versions.
Yeah.
I mean, the Challenger 3 is basically just an upgrade to the Challenger 2.
It's a new turret, right? Usually when a tank gets upgraded, it's a new turret.
Yeah. I think it's a few new things.
Yeah.
Because they did want to make a fully new tank, but there wasn't the budget for it.
There is there? Have you seen the latest thing there's not the budget for?
School buildings that don't fall down?
Yeah, school buildings that don't fall down. And the fact that Labour, I mean, no, Labour, like whatever, but you know what we think about Labour, don't we? Not fans. But they'd actually set about a programme to fix them all. And then when the Tories got in 2010, they cancelled it. Saying there weren't money for it. And then they knew like how serious the problem was earlier this year and cut the budget for school repairs. It's like they've known about this for 13 years. This is a serious problem. And they've had repeated warnings over the last few years that it's becoming more and more of a problem to the point that like schools can now collapse. They may just collapse without warning. And even knowing that, they've kept cutting the budget for repairs.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of... How monstrous do you have to be to do that? Like, schools could collapse on our kids, but, like, we're not going to fund that. We're not going to fund preventing that. Sorry, you were going to say something there, I think, and I cut you off.
I guess it's the short-sightedness of it as well. Like, did they somehow think this wasn't going to come back on them?
Mr. Mariah. Yeah, it's like, because I know that nowadays they're working on the assumption they're going to lose the next election, right? That's what all the polls show them, losing massively. So they're deliberately doing like whatever to work for now. Like, that is the thing they're doing right now. But you'd think that when they got in power in 2010, they weren't thinking they were going to lose immediately.
Yeah.
In the last few years, have they just been working on the idea they're always going to lose the next election? Like, but the thing is that what purpose does it serve? Like, I don't understand how it serves their agenda. Because we know that they've always got an agenda, right? Like, and most of the seemingly incompetent policy decisions are actually a way of putting money in their friends' pockets. But like, what's the agenda here? Like, letting schools collapse on kids? Is it just to make the education sector seem worse, so more people go private?
Like, it seems like the sort of thing you'd set up to sabotage the people who are in power next.
Yeah.
Except, like, at that point, surely they couldn't have known that far back.
No. Like, David Cameron can't have known that it was going to be a problem in 2025.
Yeah. Like, is it just that they've far outdone their own expectations for how long they could stay in power?
And that's possible.
Like, when they're looking like 8 years ahead. Like, you know, we're planning to win the next one, but, you know, sooner or later it'll go awry.
Yeah. I mean, it could be they thought that they were going to win in 2010, then probably in 2014, 15, depending when they call an election, and then probably lose the one after that. Which they nearly did, didn't they? Because they won in 2010, won slightly more in 2015. Didn't even get a majority in 2017 and had to team up with just awful people from Northern Ireland to get things through. And then, were they expecting to lose that one? I guess nearly. And then 2019, of course, they won by a massive amount because of Brexit. Right? That was essentially the deciding factor there. I mean, there were a lot of other, like, demonisation of Corbyn as, like, he's going to eat your babies. And all of that. And they broke their normal electoral rules. Like, the press, I should say. Broke their normal electoral rules. Which is called purdah. Which is the idea that once the campaign starts, the newspapers only report the facts on the campaign. They don't put their own spin on it. They don't like do opinion pieces on the election. They just do the facts, so that they don't bias people either way. But this time, up to the polling day, they were like doing photos of Corbyn in the bin and being like, "We must get rid of him," or Corbyn being staked through the chest with like, "We must destroy this curse on our land," and like really like vitriolic language. And they did that right up to polling day, so that's effective. But also, it's the Brexit thing, right? Like, even people who weren't especially pro-Brexit were fed up with hearing about it and wanted it sorted one way or the other.
Yeah.
And so the Tories were like, "Yeah, we've already done it. Don't even worry about it. Like, we've got it all fixed," which of course was a massive lie, it turned out, which we all knew, right? Or a lot of us knew.
Yeah.
We've got it all sorted. Like, it's just we just need to win an election and we can fix it. It's Labour who's stopping us getting it going. And then Labour, which I think was Corbyn, maybe set up a little bit, maybe sabotaged, I don't know, with their policy of we'll have another referendum and that'll decide. We'll get a deal, and then we'll have a referendum on whether you want the deal or you want to, stay in. And people are like, "We've had enough. We just want it done one way or the other, and you're not promising done one way or the other." Because I literally had people say that. They're like, "I don't even know what it is. I don't know how it's going to affect us, but I just want to stop hearing about it." Which is not a great decision making, honestly.
Yeah.
Did that golem just fall? Is that what I'm...
Although I will say I'm uncomfortable with the idea of holding votes until you win.
Yeah. Like, to be honest, I would have totally gone for a second referendum. Just because the first one, fair enough. There's lots of reasons why you might not like the EU, right? Left-wing ones, as well as don't like them foreigners, right? There's left-wing reasons too. I mean, Corbyn was a Brexiteer, really. But then when I saw how much of a mess the Tories had made of the whole thing, I was like, yeah, I don't want any part of this. So I can see why. But as you say, are you holding referenda until you get the result you want?
Yeah.
Which, of course, ironically enough, is what the EU did in Portugal and Netherlands, I think. Which is part of the reason, some people, one of the reasons cited for people voting leave on left, right, was when they wanted to adopt that new constitution, and it was rejected in the Netherlands and Portugal, and it can only be adopted if every country accepts it. So the EU made them have a referendum again, with the premise of they would keep making them have referenda until they approved it, which is not very democratic. And of course also there's the whole replacing the governments of Italy and Greece thing. Which, doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, maybe the Tories thought they were going to lose that one. Maybe it changed when Johnson got in. Because he was so far up his own backside that the idea that he'd lose would be beyond him. Because even now he's trying to get back as Prime Minister,
Yeah.
He stepped down as an MP. And they're still trying to get him to come back. What is going on there? Trap myself. How we looking?
Okay. Good. Actually, you want to give me a hand?
Yeah,
on the
sure.
Finishing touches.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a collaborative thing.
Oh, nice. What do you? That's a lot of boots.
Yeah, grab as much as you can carry.
Oh, okay. Oh. It's a lot of leather boots.
Yes. Listen, we've had enough of these rebellious elements, and it's time to get some boots on the ground.
I really like the thing. 'Cause I love to spoof the thing from Maoism, where they talk about Mao Zedong thought, right, as a guiding principle. And in fact, in Vietnam, one of the guiding political principles is Ho Chi Minh thought, which obviously makes me uncomfortable.
Actually, it might be best if we rest before we go over there, because it's not properly lit up yet.
Is it a short rest or a long rest? I've been watching Kira Chats play Baldur's Gate 3, so I now know more about D&D than I ever have.
I mostly play 3.5, so short rests are not a thing.
Okay, cool. Do we need more chats if it's 3.5? Because they're more Byzantine, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Also, I'm going to play a druid. I believe that's the one that's OP.
Yeah, very.
Nice.
Good choice.
Ooh, Aris, thank you. What is this?
Oops. A little monument to the people.
Let me put this on so I stop putting them on myself.
Yeah.
I just. Oh.
Oops. Surprisingly easy to accidentally put on a pair of trousers.
I just accidentally swapped my boots with the one of the statues. Yeah, so I guess my official political ideology is Starfire thought, I guess.
Yeah.
That didn't work. Done it again. I wish I could stop putting like their boots on me. Happened again. How did you know? Did you put boots on at the same time as me? Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Happened again. Okay, something's going wrong there. Yeah, that's it. Couldn't see. Are these all booted? I can't tell. No, they're not. I can't tell if they're wearing boots anymore. That one's not, I think.
Is it these ones over here?
There we go. I've got like 4 pair left. Is it? Oh, just these, is it?
These here, yeah.
Excellent. How do I keep managing to put them? Oh, that's better. I've done it again. Embarrassing. There we go.
There we go.
Ah, nice. Oh, I like that. That's very cool.
Thank you. Wanted a nice centerpiece for the expansion over here. I thought I'd maybe do something for our workers.
That looks really good, and I love the aesthetic you've gone for with it.
Thank you.
Are you going to give it some overblown name?
I'm sure I should.
Because usually those big like Soviet or like Chinese artworks like that have always got some like grandiose, really like long name on it. Ah, that's very cool. Nice.
How that turned out.
Yeah, nicely done, Lewis. I like that.
Spent a very long time thinking about the colouring for the glass.
Yeah.
That was the hardest part. First, it took me a long time to figure out what material I wanted. It's like the wood and the stone. That's what the people work.
True.
You know, it had to be these two materials. But for the central column, you know, it needs to be something striking. You know, what? I was looking at things like basalt and stuff, but and then I realized glass. We're not doing anything important with glass. I can commandeer some of that for some decorations. Put some light at the bottom to make it look nice.
That's very good. What's your light? It's always that your glowstone.
It's the glowing mushrooms.
Oh,
I work with
nice.
those a lot.
Nice.
And then I had to think about the color because you want something that goes well with red, but like I didn't want red glass because is it too red?
Yeah.
You want the red to be striking, whereas if the whole thing is red, it's just red.
Yeah.
You don't look at it. You don't look at it and see the red. You just look at it and see red.
Yeah, I get you. Bizarrely enough, makes
But,
sense.
But like the opposite color, like contrast blue, would blue contrast well with red, but is it part of? Does it go with what I'm aiming for here?
Yeah.
Does it really fit to have a big blue column in the middle of the bright red workers monument?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I think you made the right choice for that.
Yeah, I think the orange works well.
Yeah.
We actually had some orange in storage, so I was able to do a little bit of testing, and I liked it as close but not quite on.
Makes it like an accent colour, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good job, Loomis.
We'll have to workshop a needlessly elaborate name.
We will. Yeah, there's one thing. If this is the unveiling, there's one thing we should have done. Let me go and get it. It's needless how much time it's going to take for me to go and run it. There's a couple of things we can do actually.
Yeah, I think I know where this is going.
Sure. And then we'll wrap up for today, I suppose. 'Cause I forgot to put my bin out earlier, so I need to do that because I'm not getting up at 7 in the morning to do it. Also, they say you got to have your bin out by 7, but my bin lorry often comes earlier.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm not going to chase it. They were an Armstrong and Miller sketch. That recurring sketch where someone would be in some great emotional distress or blazing row or whatever. And then partway through suddenly go, oh shit, the bins! And then like run out to get put the bin out as the bin lorry's driving away. And they're like, no, I've just, And of course, as the series went on, it got like a more absurd scenario, of course. Where like one of them is like accusing his like daughter or whatever of being a witch and like a harlot and all like this. And then he's like really like denouncing her, typical 17th century gear if you can imagine it. And then she goes, oh shit, the bins! And runs out, there's like a horse and cart pulling away. He's like, no way, Dad! I've got my bins! I did see part of a sitcom thing, not a sitcom, but like a comedy program that someone had done about like a witch finder, and I found it profoundly unfunny.
Yeah.
I was like, I get what they're going for because they're trying. The point is to make fun of the witch finder, right? Because he's actually just doing it to make a name for himself.
Yeah.
But it just didn't seem very funny. It seemed a bit tasteless to me. Like a lot of people died and were completely innocent, and it's... Anyway, are you ready? I know it's daylight fireworks, it's always dodgy, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not coming out here at night.
Hey. Ooh, that does look good.
Thank you. And finally, to celebrate the occasion.
Yeah. I knew it was coming.
I love that again. As if you've not seen us, if you've not been keeping up with us, we found these magical horns. We don't know what they do at all. We just blow them to celebrate occasions. What does it do? We don't know. Are we, thinning the barriers between our world and the next? Are we undermining reality, summoning demons? We don't know, but it does this.
Huzzah!
Well done, Lewis. There you go. Celebrate the construction being finished. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. And that seems a good enough place as any to finish the stream for today. And I'm going to deliberately log out here, so it's dangerous if I log in and it's night.
Which it always seems to be when you log in.
It does, doesn't it? Is that disproportionate? But yeah, that's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Beer. As I said, I know you've gone now, but thank you, Beer, for keeping us company very well. Excuse me a moment. Thank you, Loomis, for joining me, as always.
Thank you for having me.
Never a problem. That's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed that. Hope you've enjoyed that at home. I'll let you say
Very
good.
nice evening for me.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I know you like the Minecraft time, don't you?
Yeah, my therapy time. That's what keeps me going.
That's great to hear. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you say goodbyes, then I'll say mine.
Yeah, have a good time zone, everybody. It's been good.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. That's been a lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed that as much as I have. I'll be back on Sunday at around 1800 BST for painting. We're painting the Space Marine Baal Predator. It's starting to come together a little bit more, which always feels nice. And then we will be back on Tuesday at around 2000 BST for more Minecraft. And until then, so I hope to see you all soon. I bungled up my own thing there. So I hope to see you all soon. Until then, take care and Namarie.